I promise you, the car goes like this at the end of the street. It just goes
Serious.
like this. It's frightening. It's very frightening. So
I know a lot of your fans right now are just excited just to see you.
oh Lord. I know everybody must be burning up with missing this weekend and not being at Dover. 'Cause this is always the biggest weekend in racing for the year. They have all the good stuff.
Thanks to all our sponsors for making this series possible. Kenty Racing, Jamaica Race Drivers Club, WAP Performance, Boostin, Zidage Performance, and Massive Auto Parts. All right. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I see quite a few racers in the chat room. Yeah, remember to share the video, guys, because Senna has an announcement he'll be making in a short while. So share the video. We need as much persons in here tonight.
For sure.
For sure.
I think everyone's anticipating what we're gonna say, but I mean, I think everyone needs to make it. Everyone needs to know.
Right. Well, a little later down, hopefully, we can crack the 300 mark.
For sure.
And then you can go ahead and make your announcement. All right. But in the meantime, Senna, I normally start off the interviews by having persons tell us, who they are. So I'm going to ask you, who is Senna Summerbell?
So I am a 4-time national go-kart champion. That's where it all began. I started go-karts when I was about 5 years old. My dad got me into go-karting. And ever since, the story's just continued. I've wanted to be just like him and continue his legacy and step up to Dover and become as good as he has become.
Well, there's a lot that we'll get into later.
For sure.
But tell us, you said go-karting, right?
Yeah, so what it is
first of all, you mind telling us the age, Senna?
I'm 18 years old now.
18. All right. Go-karting.
Yeah. So
let's talk about that for.
So I started when I was 5 years old, and my dad bought me a 50cc go-kart, and out at Palisado's International Go-Kart Track, one of the nicest go-kart tracks in the world. Just like Dover, it's very challenging, and it teaches our drivers a lot about how to drive properly, pretty much. And you will always see the best drivers at Dover coming from karting. Kyle Gregg, Tommy Gore is coming up, Colin Daly Jr., William Miles, Fraser McConnell. All those guys have started from go-karting. And it's really, so I started in 50cc's, where I can just remember my dad being so upset. I think he thought I was not the driver to be. Apparently I would never listen. I would just drive and drive. I would love driving, but I would never listen. And until one day when my dad said that he wishes I never won my first race, because he says there's no way on earth I should have won that race. I just had a crazy engine, which we used to pick. So he said that just ruined it, because he didn't know if he was driving wrong or if I was driving wrong, because he would tell me, Senna, you need to be driving the right lines. And I would be like, and then I go win the race driving completely wrong lines. And Dad had to question himself. He's like, Dad had to be like, am I driving wrong, or or is Senna driving wrong? So that's where
Mm-hmm.
it all began in 50cc, and then we started to get a bit better in 80cc with a lot of laps, and we had a fallout in 80cc. So after an international race meet, I had won. That was my first time winning a whole race meet, and then after that, karting in Jamaica kind of died down, and we were out of it for quite a while. And we got back in about 2012 or 2010, one of those 2012 or 2010. And we started Minimax, and ever since, that's where my racing kicked off. That's when I began to learn about lines, learn about driving right, and learning from my dad, especially, who is like the best coach I could ask for. And from Minimax is where it kicked off, where I won my first national championship. Then I won it again, and then I moved to Rotax Junior, racing against. I don't think you understand. Racing in Jamaica is where everything starts. You have the likes of Winter Tour winners. The Florida Winter Tour is where half of the Formula One drivers start. You have Jamaican drivers that win the Winter Tour, like Justin Sergani and Joshua Sergani and Thomas. So you're competing against all these pedigreed drivers, pretty much, who are very good, and that's where you become a driver. For me, I'm a very competitive guy, and I do not like losing. So even though these guys are supposedly Winter Tour champions, you want to do everything you can to beat them, pretty much. And that's when you learn to start driving properly, learn to take off those extra tenths that you could never take off, and that's where everything starts.
Okay. All right. You mentioned earlier lines. Now, for persons who may be watching, could you break down what it is you mean by lines? For example,
all right,
well, yeah, go ahead.
So what it is racing is about being as smooth as possible, and keeping the fastest racing line. By what racing line means is trying to straighten the corner, pretty much. Every time you turn the wheel in a car, it's pretty much brakes. So it's slowing you down. If you're going in your car and tries to move off with the wheel fully turned, it's gonna give up. It's gonna be much harder to move off with it straight. So it's being able to use all of the track as possible, and straighten out the track, pretty much, and drive the right lines. So in the radical proper lines is very important, because you don't have the power as like the Evo did, or any of those turbo cars where you could just put it in the corner and step on it and come out of the corner, So you actually have to be very precise in how you drive and get the car exactly where you want it for you to be fast. So that's why many drivers will have problems going into the radical when they first start, because especially the guys who haven't started from the go-kart level, who don't. In go-karting, it's you understand the importance of how to keep the go-kart straight to go fast, and you need to be able to keep the radical straight to go fast. So that's why many drivers even differ from getting a radical, because they know that driving a radical, you have to know what you're doing, pretty much, to get it to go fast.
Cool. Still at go-karts, what has been your biggest achievement, though, in your go-kart career?
So about in 2018, when Stephen Gunter became the JMMC president, he got one person from the Caribbean got chosen to represent pretty much the Caribbean, but represent Jamaica in the World Championships in Brazil, the Rotax World Championships, and it was an honor to just be called up to race in it for Jamaica. And it was just it just was a proud moment for me to go to Brazil and race for Jamaica. And even so, when I went to Brazil, my dad had given me the best opportunity. I had one of the best mechanics in the world tuning for me. Do you know who Kimi Räikkönen is, by any chance?
Not No, not familiar with the name.
All right, well, the
Senna.
Formula One fans will know exactly who Kimi Raikkonen is. And this mechanic was
Mm-hmm.
actually Kimi Raikkonen's mechanic when Kimi was about 15 years old. So I had like top of the line mechanic, and Dad really had wanted me to go there and win. And the weekend started off amazingly, where I
Mm-hmm.
qualified third to one of the Brazilians who like home advantage track, and just that feeling of qualifying third and knowing I was the third fastest in my category in the world championship was just a
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It was hard to process at first, but that was for sure one of the career moments I'll always look back at and be happy about. And then unfortunately,
Cool.
luck just didn't go our way, and
Mm-hmm.
we were running fourth, I think, in the finals. We were running fourth on the last lap in the world finals, and we passed a guy to go into third, I think, and because it was the last lap, he tried an all for nothing pass on like one of the last corners and completely took me out. And I couldn't have done anything. I couldn't have done anything about it. He got penalized. I got put back
Mm-hmm.
down to sixth or fifth. Sorry, fifth. I came fifth.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it was just an awesome. Even coming fifth, I was so proud of myself and
Yeah, but I mean, on an international stage, you know, that's definitely a huge accomplishment for Jamaica, you know?
for sure, it was. I think it was one of the first times. I think we've only had a couple of Jamaicans who've been to the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
The likes of Thomas Issa, who I saw all the Formula One drivers now, all the youth Formula One drivers, Max Verstappen, Landon Norris, all those guys. Thomas Issa, Thomas Issa raced against them. He made it to the World Championships. He did awesome in the World Championships. The likes of Colin Daly Jr., who will be racing the Radical, has run the World Championships and I think finished third when he did it. So that's the type of competition that's going to be in the Radical next year. Some crazy competition. But yeah.
Well, we soon get to the Radical. With let's take it in stages. So we pretty much cover, your go-kart career. So we're gonna move forward now.
I have even more. So actually, how I qualified for that World Championships, I forgot about that. Was we went and ran a Caribbean invasion race in Guyana, which I had again terrible luck all weekend. Terrible luck. I was the fastest going into qualifying. The axle brakes. Started about 12th in the final, and that weekend I knew I needed to win. In Guyana it was crazy. I've never seen, like, when you go to Dover and you see the crowd.
Yeah.
For the race cars in Guyana, it's that crowd for the go-karts. So I've never it was madness. I was like, I got there and my eyes were just, I was shocked pretty much seeing all this crowd and everything, and everyone knew who I was because my dad's done very well in Guyana in the past in his Evo, and so I had a big like responsibility, like
show to fill, right?
I had to do well that weekend, and after qualifying, things just did not look good. Just, I think I started about 12th for the pre-final, and let me tell you, when that green flag dropped, I've never put down such a race in my life. It's like no fair was in it, no fair was involved. Like usually when you race cars, there's a lot of, or go-karts, there's a lot of fair involved because in go-karts and cars, there's such a high risk. But there was so much adrenaline in that pre-final that I'd pass a guy every corner. Like I was just dive bombing people. Like if I got third in the pre-finals, so that gave me an awesome position to start for the final, third against the Caribbean's best pretty much at the time.
Right.
And starting third, I drove my way up to first and won the race, and that's how I got to go to the Worlds actually. So that was just That was
awesome.
When I won the race, that was an awesome achievement as well. It was crazy.
Well, congrats. Yeah, definitely. Congrats on that.
Thank you. So yeah,
definitely.
And I had Tommy Gore as a teammate in that race, actually helping me. I think I even bumped him out the way to pass him. I was just on a, I was, he, he was mad about it. I was just on a mission. I was just on a mission.
Yeah, just wanted to win, bro.
Just wanted to win. That was.
Yeah, man.
So that's what happened in the World Championships pretty much. I got a terrible start and I just wanted to come top 3 and I drove my way up to the last lap, made the pass for 3rd, and then got taken out next corner.
Well, tell me something, Senna.
Yeah.
Being the son of one of Jamaica's, what's the word now? Most talented driver, and also name as well, David Summerbell. Do you feel sometimes a bit of pressure, like do you feel like you have to live up to the legacy and all that Dad has done?
I mean, it is very nerve-wracking. When you get in the car, you know you have a big name. You know you have a big name to yourself, and you know that everyone's watching you pretty much. So you have that always in the back of your mind that you have to try to do your best. But I mean, I'm the type of guy that I know that with practice, I know that I can be I know that driving anything that I'm driving, when I practice enough, which my dad always, like, when I race go-karts, for example, my dad would send me out to the go-kart track. The race would be on Sunday, and he would make me drive Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I know once I get that practice in, I know that all that pressure about me being the son of David, whatever, kind of goes away, because I know that I have the skills to back it, like when I get that practice. So, so for me, it's a matter of practice, because I know I'll be very fast once I'm comfortable in whatever I'm driving. I know there's not much people that will be able to jump in whatever I'm driving if I'm comfortable and be as fast as me. So it's all about comfort.
Yeah. And last year, or since you've entered circuit racing, you can tell us the car that you've been campaigning, and the setup.
I've been actually driving Uncle Stephen Gunter and Uncle Bobby Marshall call it the Hondishi. With a Honda K20 engine and Mitsubishi Mirage chassis. So it's actually Uncle Bobby Marshall's car. So it was an awesome start to the car. Dad and I did not expect it. Uncle Bobby just pretty much came out the blue and said, "Senna, I have this car for you and I want you to drive it." And knowing it wasn't my car, I've always been very careful with it. I don't even think, other than the time I got hit off by one of the drivers, I'm not calling any names, I've never put a scratch on it. I've never felt the need to put a scratch on it. I've never so I've never driven that car as hard as I could drive it, but that car was an awesome car. I got it down to 127. I got it down to 127 at Dover, which for me was a great accomplishment. The next lap I actually crashed. The guys actually didn't bolt on the front right wheel, and it flew off when I was doing 127. And other than that, I hit the wall for that. But
well, tell me something, Senna.
Yeah.
Knowing that Dad race and Evo, right? Before acquiring the Radical, did you have hopes of racing an Evo opposed to the Mirage?
Well, honestly, I've always wanted an Evo. I've always told Dad, can I get an Evo? Let me drive an Evo. Just let me even get it as a road car. Please, I just want an Evo because Dad pretty much Dad represents Evo in Jamaica pretty strongly. So I've always kind of wanted to. I've kind of looked up to it and kind of always wanted an Evo just to kind of feel that, But when it comes to Dover, honestly, and racing at Evo, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of a lot of stress, and it's really not driving. It ever has nothing to do with driving. It's kind of just hold on and hope you don't die pretty much in the Evo. So
Yeah.
Being a good dad, my dad would not want me to be racing that Evolution. Not that 116 pace, because I don't know how he did it. Like when I watch him and watch even Jamie James run the Evos, it looks like a terrible time. It looks.
Yeah.
It looks.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when you look at the competition now with all the radicals out there, you know, to have an Evolution in that mix, you definitely have to step up the game, because the radicals are really fast.
Well, for sure. So that's exactly what Doug Gore has done. He's got the same four-wheel drive system, turbocharged car, but it has more horsepower than the Evo, and is about 500 pounds lighter than the Evo. So, so if the Evo could do 116, I'm scared to see what that car can do. Because
wow. Well, let me ask you, Senna, personally, do you think Doug has a chance of winning Kyle?
Winning Kyle?
Yeah.
I think we can cover that topic later. How I think about it is if Doug drives the car how it should drive, I think it will be a very close race. I think, honestly, a car like that is built for someone like my dad, who would probably. I think if my dad had a car like that, it would be insane. Like it would ruin Dover pretty much, because my dad is like an expert in a four-wheel drive turbo car pretty much, and it would ruin Dover. It would honestly ruin Dover, because I don't think there would be anything that would ever be able to beat a car like that with someone like that driving. I'm not saying Doug will drive it bad or anything. He's gonna learn. I think it's just gonna take him time figuring it out from the Audi, because the Audi was
a different setup.
It was a robot. It was crazy.
So. Well, let me ask you, Senna, what is your ideal or your dream race car?
My dream race car?
Yeah.
Well, right now I think it would be. I mean, my dream race car. I mean, for the Dover rules, I think the Radicals are what's Dover and Jam West. I think that's what the best car is, a Radical, or like what you say, a four-wheel drive supercar like what Doug has. But my favorite, like, honestly, I would love to drive like a Formula 2 car, or not at Dover, but just to have fun. I'd love to drive a Formula 2 or Formula 1 car, because that would just. A Formula 2 or Formula 3, I should say, not Formula 1, because that won't happen. But just to feel downforce on a Formula 2 or Formula 3 car compared to a Radical, I think would just be mind-blowing, because the Radical has so much downforce itself, and I don't know how. I know for a fact Formula 2 and Formula 3 has way more downforce, so I can't imagine. It's kind of like putting your car somewhere you don't think it can go, and it will go.
Yeah. All right, cool. Tell me something now. Let's talk about reliability for a bit. Now, I've been told that Dover as a track is more suited to natural aspirated vehicles, you know, with all the elevation and all of that, you know.
I actually disagree with that statement, to be honest.
Oh, for real?
I would say that, because when you think about it, you know, my dad did a 116.4, I think, with the Evo, and when he did that with the Evo, it was running about 22 pounds of boost, I think, and the car was not reliable. And when they went to Jam West, they turned it up to 36 pounds of boost at that Jam West that him and Doug crashed, and it's never run. The Evo's never run so good in its life. So I actually believe if that ever got the chance to go back to Dover, I believe that car would have had the lap record by, maybe I would say it would have it by a half a second or so. So I would for sure say that, even though Kyle's been winning for so long with these Radicals, which is a great car, I think for Jam West, the Radicals will suit the track. And for Dover, Doug, if he gets the car right and if he's driving right, should have just a little advantage on us, because a lot with the hills and stuff, it's hard to catch a 4-wheel drive up coming out of those hills and stuff.
I see what you're saying. And
But-
even
but-
the corners.
What that? So I let my dad drive the Radical when we went there the other day to Dover. And best believe when my dad came out of the car, remember he's upgraded the engine to 2.9. He's saying, Jesus Christ, this feels like the Evo, like crazy. Like the car was, I've never, personally driving a car like that is literally like, it's crazy. It's I don't think you understand how fast you're going until you're actually going that speed. It's madness. It's madness. So,
but hold on, but Senna, you just drop a bit of information on us. You said that the engine in the Radical has been upgraded.
It has been since right after one of the Dovers. Dad said, you know what, I'm going to upgrade this engine. And because he wanted to race it, he wanted to race the engine. And because we knew Kyle had a lot more power than us in his Radical RXC. So Dad wanted to upgrade the engine. What Dad should have done, though, if he was to race again, was to get someone to fix the car. My dad, the Radical has never been set up. It's a pretty much bought stock car and raced as a stock car. And
okay, not tuned at all.
Not tuned. The chassis wise was never tuned. So for a track like Dover, with no one ever, like no big mechanic will know what to do for Dover until they come and see it. And Dad had his Evo guy, Justin from AMS. Take nothing away from Justin. Justin did an awesome job trying to set it Radical, but we just didn't have enough information on it. Like we've never driven a car like the Radical, and it's never been set up. So when I went to drive the Radical the other day, I go down the front straight, and the car, you're flying maybe like, I would say 120 miles an hour, and the car just shifts left and right. And I'm saying to myself, Jesus Christ, I pull the car in instantly, I drive it slow in, I come in, and I said to my dad, I said, Dad, you're trying to kill me. And my dad is dying at laughter. He's like, you see how I had to drive, you see how I had to race Calgary last year, like how you expect me to beat him, like I couldn't even put the car, like, I promise you the car goes like this at the end of the straight. It just goes
serious.
Like this. It's frightening. It's very frightening. So
would you say that's the most,
I come out the car.
Would you say that has been your, okay, go ahead.
I come out the car and Dad is saying, now someone understands what I was feeling. Dad is saying, how did they expect me to race the car like that? So I had gone to a course in Barbados, learning to fix the car and drive the car, and I pulled up a little PowerPoint, and I did some stuff to the car that one of the mechanics that is coming to Jamaica told me to do, and it helped. It helped a whole lot. Dad drove the car right off, and he thanked me so much for pretty much getting the car just even driving a straight line. And he said this would have been miracles if he could have raced Kyle with the car just driving straight. So just that little change, and that's something that I did pretty much. I figured out myself, and so I can't imagine when we actually get this engineer to come down and fix the car, because he's gonna look at the car and laugh at us, and the car is gonna fly when he comes. I can promise you that.
Well, I asked Kyle the other day on his interview, and I'm going to ask you now, Senna.
Yeah.
If we have a grid, all right, and on the grid we have Senna, Summerbell, Kyle Gregg, Doug Gore, who else has Radical now? William Miles, Colin Daly Jr., right? So that's
Hopefully.
5.
Hopefully, Christian Budasing will come down and race as well.
Wow. Well, all right. Let me not put Christian in that mix.
No,
so those 5. Yeah, those 5 persons.
Who
at the first race.
Who I think is gonna win?
Yeah. What do you predict? Would be the finish.
I'm not gonna call my name in anything right now because I really and truly have tested the car once, and I need to test it a
Okay.
lot more before I can
Fair enough.
judge where
Become
I'm
more
at.
comfortable.
Exactly. It's not right now. The
Mm-hmm.
car is not even safe to drive pretty much. I would say if someone like Kyle jumped in, or someone thinking the car is just like the Radical, even William Myers, they would be shocked at at
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
how badly the
Oh,
car is.
and Nico. Nico as well, Senna.
All right. So without me in it, I would probably
Yeah.
say that you're not gonna expect this, but I think that Kyle is Kyle knows more than everyone. I think Kyle is studying everything. If there's Kyle is not leaving anything to chance. So Kyle I'd say is one of the top contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one understands, but everyone thinks Kyle is just gets cars and stuff and drives them and wins. But I would say Kyle knows ridiculous amounts of information about the Radical. He knows every spot, everything about the Radical. If you ask him about just a bolt on a steering wheel, he'll tell you exactly what that bolt is for. He wants to win.
Wow.
Kyle is motivated to win.
Mm-hmm.
But take this from me, Colin Daly Jr. will be very fast. Even in Williams SR3 that William drove last year,
Mm-hmm.
Colin Daly Jr. will be very fast. I think he will give Kyle a run for his money. I'm not too sure about William and Nico and them, but no one's expecting Colin Daly Jr., but that man can drive. That man is the only man
Wow.
I've ever seen. That man is the only man I've ever seen. He's the one who trained me for World Championships. He's my coach. And
Wow.
he's the only man I've ever seen jump into my go-kart and do the exact same time I did. We couldn't go any faster. Me and him were identical times. And I just knew that this man can drive. This man can drive.
And it's just not.
In Jamaica, I won the last 4 years I drove, So when Colin jumps into my cart, not even driving go-karts, and does my car, and does the same time as me, I said to myself, blah, wow, this man, he doesn't have the budget that all these other guys have, but if this man has a car on par with Kyle and them, this man will put up a show, This man, and he's a madman.
Okay, so technically,
he's a madman. He's not afraid to do anything. He's not afraid of dying.
so technically, Colin is the person you would say is more likely to.
I would say Kyle knows a lot about the Radical, So I would say Kyle or Colin. If Doug gets the car going, Doug could be there as well. I think it's just gonna be. I don't think there's gonna be one winner. I think there's gonna be bare crashes, when everyone's going the same speed around the track and everyone's so aggressive, there's gonna be accidents. There's gonna be random people winning. You might even see you might see the things that you don't think are possible. You'll see. You probably.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I wouldn't say there's gonna be no winner. I will know one winner. There's gonna be multiple winners this year. So
that's true. That's true.
But Colin Daly, you see how Kyle, everyone knows Kyle to be an aggressive driver.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Daly is more aggressive than Kyle. Colin Daly is not afraid of anything. I'll give you a story about Colin Daly. So one night, me and Colin go to Rocket go-karting, and a fight breaks out in the middle of the place, and someone pulls our gun up in the air. And me now, I jump off the stands, I jump off, dive off the stands, and run and hide under a container. I'm hiding there for a good, listen to this now, I'm hiding there for a good 10 minutes. And I come back out 10 minutes later when everything's settled down. And I see Colin sitting in the same spot. So I look at him and I said, bro, you're a madman, you could have died, bro, what happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
The man said, dog, when it's your time, it's your time. Do what you have to do. And I'm
just like that.
This man is a madman.
Fearless.
That's his mentality racing. He's gonna put the car there even if it's his time, it's his time pretty much. He doesn't give a he doesn't care. He's a madman.
Wow.
He's a madman.
And for persons who don't know, Colin Daly Jr. Was or is the championship for last year. Correct me, Senna.
I think yeah, I think
He won the championship for last year.
I think he was a driver championship, and he for sure is a driver. Like, I don't think there's much more to be said about him, but he can drive a car. He's very
awesome.
He's very good at driving. And I wouldn't even put William Myers out the question, because William Myers will be driving the Formula 4, and racing is all about going at a speed, going so fast but feeling slow. And with William driving the Formula 4 car so much, he's gonna start feeling slow in the radical, and that's when everything
will be faster.
Exactly. So it's just gonna be who's the most consistent and who can keep the car on the track is gonna win the championship. So I know I'm a championship driver, and I know how to stay out of accidents, and I know how to finish races, and that's what I want. I just want to, if I'm racing the radical, that's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said you said if you're racing the radical, for the
I think we should just spill the beans. So right now, as it is, we've gotten 2 big sponsors. Tropical Tropical Battery, of course, they've sponsored me my whole career with up to go-karting, and Bigger Soda, who's been there since last year, and it's just an awesome team. And they've said to my dad, well, we want Senna in the radical, and we're doing what we can to pretty much race the radical. So that's gonna be the plan for next year, to race the radical against these guys and give them a run for their money. So
sounds good. Sounds good.
So yeah, I know in my mind I have 10 years to become the next David Summerbell Jr., which is my dad. So I have no fear, I have no worries in needing to win. I'm just gonna do my best, and I think doing my best could then put us in a title-winning position. Just staying on the track and watching people go wild and berserk.
And you know, we must acknowledge that a lot of times when drivers go out there and win, it's not only because of the vehicle they're driving or their skill, but because of the team.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. The team is what does everything for a driver. When you have someone like Tropical Battery always there for you at the end of the race, congratulating you, even if you don't finish the race, and they're just always there at the end of the race. They have the whole crew and everything congratulating you. Bigger Sodas, they have great guys there too. They give me soda at the end of the race. I get refreshed, and having a great team is important, and just like having great mechanics is just as important.
Definitely.
So that's what it comes down to. Who has the best team? And Kyle Gregg has had an awesome team. He has a guy from Radical named Simon, who comes and helps him, who is top of the line. So it's really top. Kyle has won the last how much 3 years, and it's just he has the best team. He's put the most effort into getting the best team, getting the best setup, and he's who has deserved it the last 3 years. My dad he didn't set it up right. He didn't get the guys to come set up Radical. It's nothing about his driving. Kyle Gregg was the driver for the last 3 years. So
right. And you can tell us what are the classes you raced in? So
last year, I think I've set a record amount of races. I don't think there's any driver ever that's run as much races as I did. I think, Uncle Stephen, you can correct me if not. I think I ran about 45 races last year, including qualifying. I was a wreck after the race meet. I think I'll probably lose about 10 pounds every race meet. It was a grind. I would go to the races, and I knew I had one car. So I would not put that dent. I would stay out of accidents, and I knew I had to just focus all day and just get the car to the finish line. And it was scary because you're racing against different drivers that you don't know, and you have to kind of think for everyone. You get me? Like you have to you have to know what people are thinking, and you have to anticipate what they're gonna do. And driving 45 races and not a bad crash is an accomplishment. Trust me, that is one of the accomplishments I have.
And as you mentioned, Crash, I would have to ask, who would you say has been your biggest rival over the years?
I mean, I've had a lot of different rivals. Who would it be?
Or you can name a few.
I mean, there's always Justin Sergani, my best friend. He lived beside me when I started back go-karting. He's the one who got me back into it. He would put beatings on me every go-kart weekend, and I just wanted to beat him until I finally started beating him. And then his cousin, Joshua Sergani, I stepped up into his class. Joshua Sergani was the next main competitor, where I had to work my way to beat him as well. There was always the likes of Tommy, who would always step up into the class. I wouldn't say he had it wouldn't be a fair competition because I'd been in the class longer than he was. And it wouldn't be really like, I always had more experience than him, so it wouldn't be really like he's always been there, but he's growing. Like when I was his age, I was probably the same. Like I was probably just as good as him, if you get me. So
yeah.
So
all right.
So different competitors.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you Oliver Townsend? You guys had a face off?
I mean, it wasn't really a face off. That car is a beast on wheels. I've never seen anything like it in my life. That car is madness. It's probably the best Honda Civic I've ever seen in my life. I'm really and truly, I got in front of him one race. I did what I could do. I probably stayed in front of him for 3 laps, but it's kind of hard. My car, when you race I race 9 races a day. By the end of the day, when you're racing Oliver Townsend in a 1-for-1 race, it's not really fair. I'm dead. The car is dead. You get what I'm saying? So it was. I literally knew he would be the better driver at that point of the day, and he would win those races, if you get me. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I did come second in the MP3 championship to Oliver, which I congratulate him. He drove an awesome year. I won the Thundersport 1 championship though, so that's stepping up into Thundersport 2. So after winning so Thundersport 1 championship is the second biggest championship. So Kyle, I'm coming for you. I won the championships that I needed to win, and now the last championship I need to win is the Thundersport 2 championship, which is what I want. So
okay. Well, seeing that you'll be making a transition to the Radical.
Yeah.
Your Ondishi, will it be piloted by? Will it still be in the game?
I don't think I'll be racing because it's just a bit too much to handle, like with the Radical. And you really aren't when you're driving a car like the Radical, you have no time to focus on anything else. Honestly, it's like when I went to drive the other day, I would do 3 laps in the car, and it would be like I'd have to come in because your mind starts thinking about other things, and you feel the car sliding, and then you say to yourself, crap, I'm gonna, like, it's dangerous. You know the car is dangerous. So so your mind cannot be on another car. Your mind has to be 100%
locked in.
I don't like, and I think someone needs to come in the car with me or come in a Radical just to like feel it. Like, I promise you, it's not even a real feeling. It's like, it's just, you're like driving and the car is going, like, you're like flying pretty much, and the thing is just going wherever you want it pretty much. It's insane. So there's no time for me to think about driving my Honda and different braking points and how to drive the 2 cars differently. When I drive the Radical, it's going to be 100% my mind driving the Radical, and it's not going to be no joke. It's going to be to win, It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, question, Senna. Do you have a ritual? I spoke to Doug and Kyle the other day. They said they have like this little ritual that they do just to kind of lock in and stay focused.
I want all of the go-kart drivers and all of the guys that know about this. So I have 1 pair of gloves that I've never lost in. I'll put them on and I will not lose. And the go-karters, they've tried to burn the gloves, they've tried to throw it away, they've tried to. So I make sure I don't practice in them, and when time comes, I put them on when I need to win, and I drive with them.
So those are like the winning gloves.
I am very superstitious. I lead like I I don't know how to explain. Kyle is more superstitious than Kyle, so I'm crazy. I'm crazy about superstition.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Wow.
when you're going at that speed and something happens, so I can give you an example. One time I was wearing an orange shirt and my go-kart flipped. And ever since, I'll never wear an orange shirt back to a race meet. Just because you have the fear in your mind. It's not no joke thing where you wear the orange shirt to get it out of your mind. You get me? You don't want anything like that ever to happen again. Like it's just weird. It's like it's because like if it was something like running where you go like running a race, you lose a race in the orange shirt. Yeah, you wear the orange shirt again to try to get over that fear. But when you know your life and thing is in danger, you make sure everything. You don't even want to be thinking about. When you get in a race car, you don't want to be thinking about, I have the orange shirt on, crap, this might go bad. You want just your mind to be thinking about the track.
Clear.
How you're gonna get me?
Well, you know, I have to say, you know, of course, thanks to our sponsors, Kenty Racing, Jamaica Race Drivers Club, WAP Performance, Boosting, Zidage Performance, and Massive Auto Parts. Yes, Senna. So back to business now. Superstition, you know, I find that to be a bit, I wouldn't say humorous, but I guess I can understand what you guys saying, because when it's racing, it's about winning. You know, you go there to win.
And it's not even about winning, it's safety. There's so many things that can happen when you're racing a car. You don't want anything to happen. I'm gonna give you a funny story about those gloves though. So my first Dover race meet, I was running IP3 or IP2 or one of them races. And my mechanic is the only one at that point that knew about the gloves. He's my go-kart mechanic. I even thought of bringing him to Brazil because we have this thing where I put on the gloves and give me a fist and send me out and I win. I promise you. Every time that whole procedure happens, like something happen and I win, right? So
yeah,
I come in about fourth in the day, and I said to him, I came fourth in the first race, fourth in the second race, and I said, yo, this is my first Dover race meet, you know. You think I should just try wear the gloves? He said, why not, brother? Just go try it. So put it on, you know. I give him a fist. First, this is my first race meet at Dover. Best believe, starting fourth, start the race. Green flag. First corner, I think Sheldon Morgan, Bastier Ray, all of them connect up. I win the race, you know. When I come in, me and him were crying. I was in tears. I treasure them gloves, you know. They have rips and everything in them, but those are my special gloves. They'll always be. Everyone cash, you know. I come in and I look at him and me and him are celebrate. It's Devon. If Devon's watching, Devon can. I don't know if he's watching, but he can set that through. But me and him know that those gloves are something special. There's something.
Yeah.
I think it's also because I've won in them a lot of times that I just have my mind thinking I'm gonna win, and then I don't feel nervous at all, and I just go for it. So it's all great, but it sounds kind of stupid, but
yeah. Well, but Senna.
Yeah.
I guess it's safe to say that racing was kind of, there's no way you could not be a racer because your name,
Senna. I mean, there is a possibility. Racing is, again, it's to just be at Dover, I don't think you understand how much it takes from each and every one of those drivers. You have to give respect to all those drivers. I don't know, I know my dad has spent crazy amounts of money racing, and maybe like when he had me, I don't know if he wanted me to get into racing because it's going to be the same amount of money again. So I think honestly, it was left up to me. That was like pretty much find your own way to race if you want to race, and then I had to go out and get sponsorship. And I did it all by myself. I got Tropical and Big Up all by myself. And Dad is very proud of it, and he tells everyone that he didn't help me get in any of those sponsorships. And pretty much I've been racing on the Team Tropical and on the Team Bigger for the last 4 years of my life, go-karting, and Bigger has pretty much been awesome. So for all those guys out there that think I don't have enough money to race, we're all in the same position. It's not a position of, you need to start with the go-karts. You need to showcase yourself, and then you need to work on sponsorship proposals. I remember not doing homework and just working on sponsorship proposals on PowerPoint for hours. I
I
would
mean,
spend hours on them. And even when I was
as you mentioned sponsors, you know,
yeah,
how difficult is it to be a circuit racer and to do well, like on top of a game without having sponsors?
it's impossible. Sponsors are what make the sport go around. When you're racing for yourself and you're using, you could be the richest man. You could be the richest man in the world and start racing. And they say, there's a saying that my dad goes by. If you're a billionaire, if you want to be a millionaire, start as a billionaire and do racing. You will. That's my saying. My dad goes after. If you want to be a millionaire, start as a billionaire and start racing.
As that racing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I think for racers who are watching or listening, of course, that's a tip. You know, you can start doing up some sponsorship letters.
Exactly.
You know,
I promise you. Dover has a massive spectator audience, and there's a lot of companies that want to be out there. There's companies that will contact you. There's guys like Richard Lee from Amsoil, who is awesome when it comes to motorsports. Shout out to Richard Lee and Amsoil. They've helped a lot of drivers become who they are. I've seen him help millions of people. There are companies like that who want to sponsor drivers who love racing and who want to get their brand on a car, pretty much. And it's just finding them. It's just pinpointing them and showing them what you expect and what you're gonna do with the car and what you're gonna do for their brand, and showing them that it's gonna work both ways, because it does. Companies like Total, they benefit off of sponsoring a driver like my dad, who represents them well and who's a good brand ambassador. You just have to be a good brand ambassador and pretty much show these guys that it's worth it, that sponsoring is worth it. Total, when they're first sponsoring Dad, gave him some amount of money, and by the next race meet, they saw gas sales increase tremendously, and we're like, yo, Mr. Summerbell, we're gonna have to do more for you. Like, you've done awesome for us. So it's usually it's just, that's how it works. You give someone a product and you get one back when you're racing. So.
But would you say, Senna, that it's a bit of pressure when you're being sponsored to stay on top of your game, because if you don't do well, then you may lose sponsorship?
Well, for sure, you have to be giving the results that they want. They don't want a driver that's crashing all the time or not giving them the results.
Yeah.
But once you have a good team, you can have a bad result, and you know that they're the ones that will message you first and be like, yo, Senna, we saw what happened, no problem at all. Like, you've done great for us. You need to have a team that's supporting you, like I said, Tropical Battery. I don't even know how to explain it to you. When I'm at the World Championships, I'm getting messages from all of the ladies that work at Tropical Battery encouraging me to do well. You get goosebumps talking about it. Like you go to the Caribbean Championship and you have Tropical Battery. That's awesome. You have people. You have, it's just crazy. Like when I go to a race, I win the race, and all the Tropical ladies are coming to me and smiling and taking pictures, and it's just great, you know. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, just before we even go any further, your sister races as well.
She was racing the car that William Myers was racing, the Radical. I think she's kind of giving it up a little bit because she's now in Canada working. But I think maybe when she starts making her own money and things, she'll be back. You know? So
she'll be back.
She's a good driver too. So.
Yeah, because I mean, Samantha used to race. I think the last time she raced was like about 2016 or so, thereabout. And
I think it was like 2018. Honestly, she drove the Black Radical, and she's done amazing. I know it was harder for her to get sponsors because, like, I mean, I don't know how it was harder because she's a girl, but I know for sure it was harder for her. I guess she just hadn't put that time in to get sponsors. But being a girl, even girls out there, you girls need to get into it. There's so many companies that want a female ambassador.
Female.
A female ambassador, like Sarah Mazur's doing a great job with Lubit and all those.
Definitely.
There's a lot of companies out there that would love to see a female driver even race against Doug Gore and Kyle Gregg and all these big guys that we're racing against, you know? So this sport could be for any and everyone. Even if you're broke, anything. You just need to get started. You need to put your mind into it, and you need to get going.
And definitely, you know, I too want to say big up to Sarah, because she is, I believe, one of the females who is
that, Sarah?
Sarah. Yeah, she's competing now with the big guns, I would say.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about Sarah. Sarah doesn't play with no guy. She's not afraid of any, and she's not afraid of any guy. When I'm passing Sarah, I know I have to keep my cool, because she's very aggressive. She does not like guys beating her. So that's what makes the sport, you know. Credits to Sarah.
Yeah.
She's fighting. She's showing everyone what females can do, and how gender doesn't really matter in racing. It's an equal sport, you know.
It's a level playing field when you're on the track, man.
It for sure is. It's madness. It's madness. You have to be everything there. You have to know what you're doing.
For real.
So I see. I've been getting a lot of calls today and things. About, is my dad coming on alive? Is my dad coming on alive? I didn't expect him to come on alive. I did not expect him to come on alive. So, I mean, I saw him show up at my room door when we were losing internet connection, and he's been here the whole time.
Well, I know fans definitely want to see David, if it's even for just a minute.
I think we need to build up the viewers before we let Dad come on.
That's true. All right, so you guys heard it. We're now at 204, 205. We need 300 persons in here. Yeah, man. We need to. We want to see David. You know, it's been a while. So definitely.
Steven saying, I recognize the cough, and with this corona thing, it's not a great thing to even have a cough, but everyone knows that.
I know.
He has like this cough to him that he coughs. I don't know, he just coughs regularly, like. Cough to him.
Yeah.
So,
but I
everyone
mean,
recognizes the cough. He comes out race car and coughs. He doesn't have corona, guys, but he's just
Junior Barnes is saying 250. I believe that's too low, bro. We need 300 persons in here. I mean, yeah, this is an exclusive opportunity to just, you know, say hi to David. It's been a while. Persons haven't seen him, haven't talked to him, you know. And in the meanwhile, persons could drop some questions you have for Senna, or Uncle David. In the meantime, right? So until we get the views up a bit more, yeah, man. But how does it feel though? I mean, Senna, I must ask though, as a youngster growing up, who was your idol in racing?
For sure, it's Dad for sure. I think he's the best driver. I think I'm biased towards him. I think he's the best by far. I've always thought that if he had the opportunity to go to Formula 1, which he did, he got the offer, I think, when he was young to drive Formula 2, and back then he couldn't afford it. He says that if he had the opportunity now, like if he had the money he had now, he probably would have been the best contender Jamaica's had to make Formula 1. In my opinion, he's just an awesome driver.
Yeah. And I can tell you, there's nothing that I mean, I've not seen when David and Doug is on the track, bro. It's a different Dover. I mean, I've seen persons in the what you call right on Pinky's Bluff there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
almost ready to fight it out just because Doug and David are on the track.
The worst is when both of them crash and the fans have
Oh Lord.
that's when the fans start going crazy. So, but yeah,
Well,
in my opinion, it's the best driver I've ever encountered is my dad.
yeah.
Just give him props. I think if he had, I think even in my radical, he'll be just as fast as me when I get going. I got lucky the other day; he wasn't warm, and I actually went faster than him when I went out for my first time in the radical. But I think a four-wheel drive car like Doug's car, I don't think there will be any ever driver that will ever touch Jamaica that will like a car like the Evo or just like Doug's car, a four-wheel drive turbocharged car. I don't think there will be ever a driver again that would be to be
well
as fast as my dad.
What do you think about this generation, this younger generation of Summerbell and Gore?
I think it should be a good. I think it should be a good one. Tommy's doing all the right steps as well. He's gotten his own sponsors. Credits to Tommy.
Yeah,
he's a good little go-kart driver. He still has lots to learn. I'm sure he'll get just as fast as me. I'm sure he'll start racing Thundersport 2 just like me in a couple of years. I know he's just gotten a Civic. I know he had some bad luck when he first drove the Civic, but I mean he will be coming at me.
yeah. I mean it's wow. All right, 240.
I'm gonna bring that in now.
All right. Persons are making some calls, Senna. Hey, Uncle David. Boy, it's a pleasure, man. I mean, this moment, I know a lot of your fans right now are just excited just to see you.
Oh Lord. I know everybody must be burning up with missing this weekend and not being at Dover. 'Cause this is always the biggest weekend in racing for the year, and so everybody must be like, don't know what to do with themselves, including us.
Exactly. It's hard to imagine a Easter weekend and not being at the track.
You're right. I don't know when last that's ever happened. I mean, I'm like in shock, but I guess that's why the corona is here.
Hey, you know, I remember talking to you a few days ago, Uncle David, and you know, it was really an humbling experience for me because it is, yeah, man. You know, it's not. I know a lot of fans out there. Their interest for circuit racing would go back to a David and Doug rivalry. You know, that's how a lot of persons got interested.
That is true. Those have been some incredible battles. But to be fair, they've been going back a long time. You know, I've had some incredible battles with awesome drivers throughout the years. Mikey Lewis, Alfred Chen, Bull Thompson, and the list goes on. But some incredible, great drivers and some awesome races. Peter Ray, of course, many a time. And in fact, the first Dover I went to, you know, was to race motocross bikes, and Peter Ray was my idol. I looked up to him like you wouldn't believe. Come to watch him, he was something else. He used to take on the cars at the end of the day. He would bike against the cars because the tracks were dirt. They were dirt in those days, so he would take on the time and things. But he was something else on a motorbike. If you think he could drive, it was something else to watch in his day on a motorbike. So it's a long list of battles, and you know, definitely has helped me develop over the years as a good driver. So lots of help, and lucky. So.
Well, you know, for persons tuning in, Remember, if you have any question for Uncle David, we'll take like about 5 questions. So, you know, because it's really Senna's interview, but we couldn't end the night without talking to Uncle David, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah. Uncle David, let me ask you, I have a question of my own though. How hard is it, you know, I mean, you've been away, well, you've not been on the tracks. Dover in particularly, and Jamwes. You know, how is it like? I know you must have some serious like you want to get back on the track.
Doug said Rossi all day.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love the driving part of it. It takes a lot of work. Keep that in mind. So it's years and years of work to have been doing it for so long. So I love the easy part, which is the fun part, to be in the car, you know, in the middle of the race. It does take a lot, and so you balance that out. I mean, the team puts in a lot. Everybody, and of course, there's always responsibilities. Not just turn up and drive. The team puts in so much work, so you have to give 100%. You can't just go and not put out. So there is a lot of pressure, and of course. But staying away, you get the urges, like on this weekend, you're dying to go and drive, and then you know, it goes and comes. But you know, the racing is the kids that are racing in there, Kyle, Fraser, William, Senna, and more. But coming out of karting are taking the racing to a new level. I've always said Jamaicans have the talent. There's no question. I think we just, I don't know, something in the water, the yam, the aki, whatever it is. So
it's just a culture. I guess it's just a culture.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So give them the opportunities, and they will succeed. So it's great, and it's a you know, it's great to see the new drivers coming up. I'm very proud to have been around for the time I have, and to see these guys coming in, and you know that you have nothing to worry about. Racing is going to just get bigger and stronger and faster, and lots of positives to keep going, you know?
Definitely. All right. So I've seen persons asking, well, first of all, they're saying that they miss you on the track. We want more fire Summerbell on track.
I have competition for the car now. Senna has he's taken over the radical, and that's all we have at the moment. So I'm in trouble. I'll have to beg a little spin here and there. And I do miss I love Dover, so it always is not nice being part of it. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Doug was saying earlier that he would give you a drive, let you drive the Kia. I mean the Audi, my bad.
Well, we'll see if he will. I'll take him up on it. I mean that looks like something hard to refuse. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd take a spin for sure. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. You know, but definitely, I know your fans, you know, you do have a very, very huge fan base, and
very blessed. And
yeah, man.
In many ways, I've had great sponsorship over the last 7 years of my racing, and even before that, I've had you know, I should go much longer when I think back to motor sales, from all the way back to motor sales to Stewart's now, you know, and given a lot of opportunities, and as I say, we've had some incredible racing at Dover over the years and around the Caribbean. You know, way back we had Mazdas. I remember having 10 Mazdas race in the Caribbean Championship, and you know, it's similar, to be honest. We had it with the Evolutions a couple of years ago, with quite a few Evolutions, and it kind of died down, and now you see quite a few Radicals coming. So it's nice when the cars are of the same type. You're going to get close racing.
Right.
the one worry I have with the Radical is it, to me, and maybe just old school, but it doesn't have the personality of a saloon car like a Ford or a Mitsubishi or anything. People relate to it, and you know, purpose-built race
Right.
cars against something that people build. It carries a little nostalgia with it that I am a little concerned. That's my only concern, but I know the racing will be good. I know the drivers will develop because of close racing. One of my favorite pictures is of me and Doug, and I must send that to you, on the grid being lined up at Dover, both in evolutions. And when you look at the crowd behind, there's not a space for an ant to pass. And that just goes to show you don't necessarily need a purpose-built race car to have crowds and good racing. So
Well, Uncle David, this is just my opinion. I believe the day you know, should return or make an announcement that you will be coming back to Dover, you will see the stands looking pretty much like oh.
that's very kind, very kind. And you
Yes,
never
trust
know.
me.
We never know what's gonna happen, and you know what lies in the future. Still have some matters to clear up, so you never know. But
Right.
and the heart is there. So we'll see what happens. But right now the focus is getting Senna up to
Senna.
speed. He did a great run the other day. He went out first time in the car. Truly impressed me. He did 1:19, and it was on the tires from my run 2 years ago at Jam West, and just that alone, I know it'll bring him down to 17. I was surprised how easy he was able to, so comfortable he was in the car so quickly. That really shocked me. I didn't expect him to do better than a 22. And so to pull out a 1:19 says a lot.
Tell them what time you did.
but no, really, so it should be very interesting. And as I said, the quality of racers there is you know, excellent, and is only going to push everybody to the best. William racing overseas is going to raise the bar. Kyle is at the top of his game. He's a real racer. He thinks of everything. He has tons of experience, and so it's a lot of positives, and I think it's only gonna, you know, as I say, go from strength to strength.
Yeah, Kyle was giving a joke the other evening that you guys were supposed to do another race, and you said to him if he's gonna change tires, and he said only if you are changing tires.
I'll tell you about it.
And trust me, I know that the fans would definitely just love to have that nostalgic feeling, to know that, you know, it's their favorite racers out there. You know, I definitely believe that fans would come out in their thousands to see that.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely do. But I think these youngsters are pulling it up for us, and definitely Doug brings a lot to the table. So anytime he races, you know, there's a lot of excitement, and there's just tons of excitement. Don't in all the classes. So we're using the big class, but there's so much happening right down the line. And as I said, the racing keeps getting better and better. So, you know, looking forward. I know we're all dying here because we can't get out and go racing, but when we all get let out the house, as it were, lots gonna go on, you know.
Definitely. You know, my main concern now is you know, a bit earlier they said on the news that we have some new cases, some new confirmed cases.
Yeah, that's
which does not which doesn't do well for us, because, you know, that looks like a little bit more time in this quarantine.
That's very you know, that's unfortunate. That's not just unfortunate.
Yeah.
We were very excited that things were going so well. So that hiccup, as it were, we have to. When I say hiccup, I mean we just have to take it in stride. We knew it was going to be tough, and it's not nice. It's really a tough time. There are positives. I think it brings a lot of us together and get to slow down and appreciate things. But at the same time, we know we all want to get out, get going, and get back to the things we love. And this is the news tonight definitely is going to put us back a couple of weeks more for sure, minimum.
Definitely.
Even more, unfortunately, but and all of us just, you know, we have to stay safe. We have to keep doing the things that we're told, the social distancing, and I like this, which is excellent. So thank you. Thank you.
No problem, Uncle David. I mean, I appreciate you finding the time.
I've definitely taken up too much time, so I'm gonna give you back to Senna. And you know,
okay, Uncle David.
Thanks a lot for having me. Take care.
Yeah, man. All the best, and yeah, man. We'll be in touch. yes, Senna. I mean, much big up again to Dad for, you know, coming by, saying hi. You know, yeah, man. Ask about the Evo.
He's answered a lot of people's questions though about if he's gonna be back, but I hope he will be back. I know he looks at his Evo every day in his office, mashed up, and I think it gets to some days like he says maybe I should fix it, you know.
Well, you know what? I tell you something, Senna. Is if Dad is coming back, I would love to see Dad in a red Evolution.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
you know, just to bring back that feeling of wow, the king. You know, that's the car that really the younger generation, I would say, really knows Uncle David for. You know,
yeah, for sure that the red Evolution is. It's just iconic when you even think about it. It is. Awesome car.
It is.
I think that and Uncle Doug's Audi is what really blew up motorsports. Dovo was massive, but those two cars changed the game pretty much for everyone. Doug's car for sure was a crazy car. It's like that's a car even way more complicated than a Radical to even think about. So those two cars
changed the game, Senna. Sure. Believe me, those two cars really.
Everyone was struggling to do 119s, 120s, and those two cars broke the 116s pretty much, you know. So maybe not Doug's Audi, but 117. I don't know if Doug's Audi broke 116, but.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But you know, I am hoping that.
Honestly, when Dad said issues, I think he just hasn't sorted it out with the JMMC. I don't think he has a license. And I think he's a guy that's very stubborn, and he's not going to, unless they give him back his license, he's not going to get back his license pretty much. So
yeah.
Because what happened was crazy. So
yeah. So, well,
he doesn't. I don't think he likes talking about those stuff, but I think he leaves me to talk about it.
But yeah, you know, I do understand because, you know, me and Dad spoke a bit the other day, so I do understand his standpoint, and you know, I'll just really hope that circuit racing goes back to, I would say, glory days. You know, I think it's fair to say glory days, you know, and see all the veterans back and the fans coming back out. But I think we're going to get a surprise though, Senna. I'm hoping for a surprise. Yeah, man. So peeps, we are now, you know, we passed the 1 hour mark. So, you know, anytime now, it's wrap up time, but before we do, you can ask.
Go on, ask. I mean, I have time, you know. Any questions you want?
Yeah, feel free to ask some questions. Senna will do his best to answer. In the meantime, I just want to say thanks to our sponsors, Kenty Racing, Jamaica Race Drivers Club, WAP Performance, Boosting, Zidach Performance, and Massive Auto Parts.
And I just want to let everyone know that when we're actually going to do a release for the Radicals. So whoever even has ideas of how they want the Radical to look with the tropical battery and the bigger soda on it. If you guys message me, I'll send you the templates, and we could even have a prize, or someone has their name on the car if they have the best design. So we're going to be designing the car, and we'll actually release it whenever we're ready to race, whenever this thing is over. Because we were planning it to be over the March break, but way past that now. So
yeah. I see BG Tuning is saying, I will sign the petition. I guess persons are willing to step up to the plate, and do whatever is necessary to have Uncle David back.
I would love to see my dad racing again. Even to have him in the same race as me would be.
Yeah, that would be epic.
Yeah, so
that would be epic.
Whatever. I try to convince him all the time. So I think he just needs everyone to convince him, to come back in the race.
All right. We can inbox you. So, all right. Send me the template.
So
all right. So
anyone who thinks they can design the car or who wants to try to design it, we can maybe have a competition, and just message me. I'll send you guys a template for the car, and you guys can see what you guys can do and see what tropical and big are like. And then we can put maybe the logo. Whoever wins the prize could.
We could finalize the details. Yeah.
For sure.
So for persons interested, it's Senna Summerbell on Instagram.
Just DM me and I'll send it to you right away. I think I can go on my computer and take the template.
Awesome. All right. Yes, guys. So if you have any more questions, somebody's asking what's the Instagram name.
But I see someone asking. Wait a minute, it shows.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So anybody else with questions, you have a few more minutes to do so. Start a competition. All right. So Steven's saying you should do a competition, Senna.
No, yeah, I will. We'll start the competition. Whoever can design the Radical the best will get their own logo on the car or whatever. I'll sort it out and I'll send something out for sure. I'm gonna get going with that.
All right. Someone was asking earlier if you ever drove Dad's ever.
I mean, I was too young back then to actually drive it, but Dad's let me sit on his lap a couple of times, and I was probably about 7 years old, and we've driven it around. I remember one time at the stadium, there was an event, and he let me sit on his lap and drive it home, or drive it wherever we were going.
Yeah. Well, somebody's saying in the comments, Senna, that the winning person could get like a lap at Dover.
For
like
sure,
with you.
Better. That would be a great idea to come take a lap with me, because we have 2 seats. In
right.
I mean, there's a lot of liabilities and risks with that, but I guess we wouldn't be going too fast. So.
Right.
But yeah, I see Doug commenting. Uncle Doug commenting the car will be faster than the DTM ever would be. I don't disagree, Uncle Doug. I think the car it should be faster than the DTM, but I think it's gonna be a hard car to adapt to. So it's gonna be a matter of how quickly Uncle Doug can adapt to the car to see how fast he can go. But
yeah,
I know for a fact that car will make him lose his brains on how scary it will be. Because I'm telling you, when you drive the Radical and you realize how fast that car is, I can't imagine like going in another car and going that much faster. It's just crazy.
I mean, just that straight, the back stretch at Dover.
It's honestly, it's not. I can't even describe the feeling to you. It's like you're pulling G's and you're pulling so much G's that you can't even feel it. Like, it's crazy. I don't even like. It's madness. It's like, and with the Radicals, like compared to driving a Honda, you realize that you just feel the car. Like, you turn it and the car goes with a Honda. You're turning and waiting for it to turn. This car is just gone. It's like gone. So.
All right.
About Taz as a driver. I think Nick is a great driver. Me and him have had some good races. I think his car has always been a little more peppy than mine, so it gives him a little bit of an advantage. But I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a great driver. I think that man probably has more car control than Ken Block. I'd say that man. I don't even know. I mean, it's not for Dover, but I mean, that man can put a car. That man can put a car. I don't even know how to. That man can turn the car this way, then back that way, and avoid accidents. And it's crazy it's crazy when you watch that guy drive. But he can drive for sure. But Dover, it's not the fastest thing to do. But he's a crowd lover. The crowd love him.
You know something, Senna. I must say before we end this live, on race days, I know fans would love this opportunity to even just come up to you and, just talk to you a bit on race days, but because of the pressure, racers.
No. Anyone who would love to come talk to me, there's no problem. I mean, sometimes I'm a bit flustered. It's all in. If you can see, I'm a bit flustered. You guys can come to me. It's no problem. I'm just flustered about maybe what's happening on the track or how I can go faster. But I love talking to everyone and anyone. So feel no pressure to come and talk to me. I'm like my dad when it comes to that. I have no problem talking to everyone.
Awesome. All right. So for fans out there, right? Senna is saying it's no problem. You can, come by, give him a shout. Even if he may look a little bit flustered, you can still come by.
For sure. It's just
for sure.
I see someone say, what do you think about Taz and the Radical? I think you probably get the hang of it if he got one, but I think the crowd love him for who he is and drifting the yellow car around the track. I think it's an iconic car.
Yeah.
The crowd, that man, when Dad and Doug and Kyle and them aren't giving the crowd what they love, Taz is who was giving it to them with the drifting, and Taz is the crowd man.
Yeah, man, for real. All right, so I see a few more comments coming in. Yeah, I realize there's a lot of Nicholas's fans here tonight. Demar Lee, I see persons putting up Demar, big up Demar.
Yeah, Demar
as well.
Demar is a great little driver too. I think he's my age.
Yeah.
He drives very well. My dad always says to me Demar is very good at driving. And I have to watch out for Demar because he's good. He's a good driver. So
yeah.
I think what these guys don't have though it would be a lot harder for a guy like Demar to adapt into a Radical, for instance, because they haven't gone through the go-karting phase. Demar's don't take any give Demar all the credit he deserves. He's gotten into a Honda, which I did not expect, and he's gone blistering fast. So I don't know what he could do to a Radical, but I mean, Radicals are a lot different. It's a different ball game.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that with some background knowledge and experience from circuit, from karting, it makes it a little easier to transition to.
Everyone says the Radical is like the go-kart. I would disagree in a sense, but I would also agree in a sense. When I went to drive a Radical, people are telling me drive it like the go-kart, brake and step on the gas and turn in, which is not how you drive a Radical. It's nothing like that. That's like the go-kart, but the lines and being smooth and being able to point the car where you want it is just like the go-kart. So it gives you two different. It's a whole new game. I promise you. It's not like it's hard to. I promise you. I've driven the car once and I don't even know how to describe it. So when I went to Barbados, though, they helped me a lot. They taught me exactly what to do to drive the car properly. And that's Dad didn't want to tell you, but I was a second faster than him when I drove the Radical for the first time, and I think it's because they taught me how to drive the Radical in Barbados, and Dad, it's never been taught. So even when I drive it like my dad, with new tires for sure, he'd be faster than me, but with the old tires, he just couldn't get the car to turn, and I knew exactly what to do to get the car to turn, how they told me to drive the car. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, what would you tell fans though? For whenever we get a chance to have a first circuit racing meet, what would you tell fans to expect for that first meet?
I mean, I don't want them to expect too much of me, but I do want them to expect a lot from me. But it's kind of it's my first race meet. As I promise you, even with the amount of practice we'll do in between the first race meet, I still have lots to learn. Kyle has been racing the Radicals for 3 years now. William for 2. Colin and me should be in the same ballpark with driving it, but Colin has a bit more driving experience at Dover. Nico is a Radical driver who's driven for years. I've just driven the Radical once, so I mean,
yeah,
like Dad says, I did a good. I'm impressed at what I did my first time driving the car, but I know for a fact when I'm in my groove there won't be when I'm in my groove it'll be hard for the guys to keep up with me, because when I get in that groove it's a good thing. But I don't know when I'm gonna get in that groove, so
yeah, I mean, we just have to wait and hope this thing, gets better.
for
sooner
sure.
than later.
I can't wait. I'm so upset that this thing had to hit when it hit, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm upset that's what it's doing for everyone. But I mean, you just have to stay safe, guys, and just pray everyone stays safe, and everyone's health everyone keeps their health up, and we get through this together.
Definitely. All right. Well, yeah. I guess it's fair enough. We could call it a wrap. What's your idea of Jamie James in the Evo? All right. Let us take that one before we go.
I've never actually seen him drive the Evo. Like, I guess there's full potential, but I mean, when I see that car go down the straight, I promise you, I said to my dad, that car is faster than your Evo, because I look at when you look at it just in the crowd, you said to yourself, I can't imagine how that man is feeling inside the car, because that car is madness. It's when you see that go down the straight, you pray for him. You pray that man has brakes, because that man is flying. Your dad, who he loved racing against the most. Uncle Doug, I'm not sure if that's you, I'm not sure if that's you. Maybe it could be. I think he loves the hype, but I don't know if Dad would say Uncle Doug's his favorite competitor. I could ask him though. Maybe it is. I think his favorite competitor would be Dad. Who's your favorite competitor racing against? He says that's a hard one. I think Uncle Doug and him have had the most rivalries, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Senna.
Yeah.
I must say, much respect, bro.
No problem.
Thanks for making the time.
No, thanks for having me.
Definitely. For persons who wish to follow Senna, you may have additional questions you may want to ask. Feel free to DM Senna.
DM me, no problem, guys.
Yeah. Everybody just keep safe. Of course, I just want to say thanks again to our sponsors for making this nightly live possible. Kenty Racing, Jamaica Race Drivers Club, WAP Performance, Boosting, Zidage Performance, and Massive Auto Parts. And also, want to give a shout out to Senna's sponsors, Tropical Battery, Jamaica, and Bigger.
Yeah, for sure. Big up Tropical and Big all the time. They're who make this possible.